Welcome back to another episode of Inside Dobe. Round 6 is done and dusted. It is in the books, and what a hell of a round it was. Friday night, GWS versus St Kilda. Toby Green's return was underwhelming to say the least. I expected him to kick 5 or 6. He only finished the game with one major on the night. Max King, look, I still think he can win the Coleman at this stage, but not with performances like that. I had King to kick 2 goals in my multi. He ended up finishing the game with 1 goal 7. But by far best on ground, most impactful on the night was Jack Higgins, kicking 4 goals 3, collecting 18 disposals, and he's in by far career best form. Gets to the best spots on the ground and will be a massive part in the Saints' success if they want to have a deep run this year into September. The Saints end up getting the job done quite comfortably by 17 points. GWS fall to 1-5. The only one with a worse record at this stage is Jev for his Friday night same game multis. He's yet to trouble Sportsbet. A collect this week would be colossal for the 100k boys, Jev. Come on, brother. Bulldogs versus Adelaide. The Crows get it done in Ballarat by a point. The big Texan has another massive game, kicking 3. Clearly the biggest difference in this Crow side since coming back in. He's kicked 12 goals in the last 3 games. Ben Keys has been absolutely unbelievable in the Lionel Huts, getting another 33 disposals. He's averaging 31.7 so far this season. And in my mind, is definitely in the discussion for an All-Australian spot so far this year. He's been incredible, Big Benny Keys. I don't think anyone would have expected the Bulldogs this stage of the season to fall to 2-4, but look, they should have a good bounce back game this week against the Bombers. Port Adelaide versus West Coast. Who gives a shit? Port finally get a win. I told you Travis Boak would bounce back and have another 30 plus disposals. He's an absolute star, leading all comers on the ground. He finished with 34 disposals on the day. Fire Ken Hinkley. Fremantle versus Carlton, a very disappointing night for the Blue Baggers. Coming into the game, if you told me the top 5 ball getters on the ground were all Carlton players, I would have said that we would have absolutely dominated this contest. Walsh finished the game with 36, Chero with 32 against his old side, Cripps finished with 32 and 3 and having one of the best starts to the season in his career. He would have to be in top 3 of the players at the moment. Doherty finished with 32 and George Hewitt finished with 30. But no, Freo ran us off our legs. Freo are a very good team. Schultz was very good on the night, kicking 3. Brayshaw with another 27 disposals. He's an absolute star. He'd be close to the top 5 in the AFL, I would have thought. But it just always seems to be the case. Too many passengers for the Blue Boys in these types of losses. Fisher, Martin, Owies, Parks, Setterfield, Boyd and Durden with all under 10 disposals on the night. Just not good enough, not enough pressure, but I still believe that we'll bounce back this week against a very, very shaky North Melbourne. Which brings us nicely into the next game, which is North Melbourne versus Geelong. The 100k boys absolutely cleaned up in this game. We got every single leg right in our same game multi and we cashed. The boys up forward got the job done. Cameron kicking 7, Hawkins kicking 4. Zach Tui was great with 32 disposals. Love how Selwood's been going this season. He racked up another 24 disposals and hit the scoreboard with a major. North Melbourne are in some serious trouble. They have the Blues and Freo in the next 2 weeks, and I don't see them getting close in either one of those contests. Gold Coast Suns versus the Brisbane Lions. Look, Gold Coast are actually pretty good at home because of the conditions that they play in. But when you're versing a team just down the road with a much better list, they were no chance to win this contest. If you tuned in on Friday night, we did call it the 100k boys. We did say that Brisbane forwards were going to have an absolute field day against this Gold Coast defence, and boy oh boy did they what. Zach Bailey's an absolute star. He kicked 6 goals straight and could not be stopped. Charlie Cameron continued his great form against Gold Coast, booting 4, and Big Joey Danaher popped up with 3. The Lions are in absolute cruise control at the moment. Like Melbourne, they will be playing a home prelim final. And the Suns will be joining GWS to a swim-up pool bar in Bali come September. ANZAC Day Eve, we had Richmond versus Melbourne. but the D's end up getting it done by 22 points. It should have been 50 plus, to be honest. I believe that Clayton Oliver is currently the best player in the AFL. In all the big games, he just shows up, and he's such a tough ball winner. I believe they said that, I think this is the 22nd time he's had a game with 20 contested disposals, which is absolutely insane. Oliver then treated himself to another 41 disposals and then collecting the medal for best on field. Look, the D's just don't have a weak link. Defensively, you can't score on them, and every single player seems to have an impact. Wiedemann had the least amount of disposals on the ground on the night for the Demons with only 8, but then he hit the scoreboard with 3, so you just can't seem to stop the D's. The Tigers will still win games this year and will be much better when Dusty comes back in the side over the next few weeks, but they will not be playing finals this year. Hawthorn versus Sydney was another cracking contest between these two teams. It never seems to disappoint until the Swans decided to pile on 9 of the last 10 goals, getting the job done by 41 points. The Hawks started red hot, kicking the first 5 goals of the match, but ran out of legs come the fourth quarter. Callum Mills is an absolute star. He had 37 disposals, hit the scoreboard for a snag, and finished the game with 660 metres gained on the game. I'll give you a hot tip right now. Jake Lloyd for 25 plus disposals this week against Brisbane. This man is an accumulator. He's usually death taxes 25. The last time he didn't have 25 touches 3 times was back in rounds 2, 3 and 4 in 2018. He's currently paying $1.62. He's usually about $1.18 for 25 disposals. Take the value. I guarantee this will hit. Get on this right now. Put it in every single multi that you're going to have this week. He will be your anchor. And then obviously the biggest game of the week, ANZAC Day, Essendon versus Collingwood. 2 teams that I happen to hate more than anyone just have to play on the biggest game, which isn't the AFL Grand Final every year, is ANZAC Day. Such a great day, such an amazing occasion, but I hate these 2 teams more than anything. Saying that, it was still a very enjoyable game to watch. Darcy Parish taking the absolute piss, collecting 30 disposals by halftime and finishing the game with 44 touches. Towards the back end of the game, when the pressure was on, the Pies seemed to put Scott Pendlebury back into the middle, which I think he should be playing more there anyway as opposed to halfback. Really helped steady the ship for the Pies to get the job done. Jack Ginnivan played the absolute game of his life, kicking 5 majors. Absolutely stuck it up Cornsey. Social media went pretty crazy after that, but I don't think he'll ever play a game like that again in his life. As a supporter, you'll never really cop an honourable loss, but I believe that the Bombers actually showed a little bit of ticker, and they actually showed up in this game. You can tell how much of a difference it makes having Merritt and Stringer back into the side. They actually look dangerous, actually look like converting goals. They definitely look like they're on the up with those 2 guys back in the side, but I was very, very happy to see them get the loss. That is it for another episode of Inside Dobe. I'll be giving some hot tips and my takes so far for this week. They will be coming in the next few days. Make sure you tune in on Friday. The Patreon is out. The boys will be hitting the 100k this week, so make sure you're on it. Make sure you get a slice of that 100k. Let's go.